You've heard him called a genius, a tyrant, a savior, maybe even a showman. Today on The Explainer, we're going to try and peel back the layers on one of the most polarizing and, frankly, ambitious figures of our time, Elon Musk. We're going to dig into the resilience, the industry, and the really complicated legacy he's building. Okay, so to really get a handle on this guy, you have to start with the sheer scale of his ambition. This isn't just about building a better car or launching a few rockets. You've got Larry Page from Google right here, basically saying Musk's to-do list for humanity is fix energy, solve global warming, and get us living on other planets. I mean, that's a vision that operates on a completely different level than your typical CEO, right? And that is key to understanding everything else about him. And to put that ambition into perspective, just think about this. It's incredibly rare for anyone to truly revolutionize even one industry. Steve Jobs, he famously did it twice, with Apple and then with Pixar. Well, Musk is doing the same thing, but in two of the most difficult, incredibly expensive, and, well, literally rocket science-level fields you could possibly imagine: cars and aerospace. That's not just impressive, it's almost unheard of. But where does a drive like that come from? To really understand the man who wants to conquer Mars, we have to go all the way back to his beginning, to a childhood in South Africa that was full of adversity and that would end up shaping his entire worldview. So, from a really young age, Musk was on the move. His journey takes him from South Africa during apartheid over to Canada, but always with this laser focus on getting to the United States. For him, America was the place where all the big technological possibilities were happening. This wasn't just some youthful adventure. It was a calculated path toward his ultimate goals. And look, this wasn't just a tough childhood. I mean, it sounds absolutely brutal. He's talking about relentless bullying at school and then coming home to a psychologically taxing environment. What's really telling, though, is how he looks back on it and says maybe that was helpful. It's like from a very young age, he learned how to endure immense hardship and just push through it, a trait that would become the absolute hallmark of his leadership style later on. And that resilience, man, it was going to be tested to the absolute limit in his professional life. Because when Elon Musk finally got to America, he didn't just want to start another tech company. He wanted to resurrect entire American industries, and he was willing to bet everything he had to do it. Okay, so let's jump forward to 2008. The whole world economy is in a freefall, and for Elon Musk, it is a personal apocalypse. Both of his huge bets, Tesla and SpaceX, are on the verge of total collapse. They're just burning through cash with almost nothing to show for it. This is the moment where everything, his fortune, his companies, his crazy dreams, are all about to go up in smoke. And you have to understand, this wasn't just one company in trouble. It was a complete nightmare happening on two fronts at the exact same time. Over at SpaceX, he'd literally watched 3 of his rockets blow up, one after the other. Meanwhile, Tesla was just days from going bankrupt. He was personally broke, borrowing money from friends just to pay rent. This was rock bottom. But this moment, this is where the story really pivots. This is where that whole American Titan idea comes into play. See, at a time when pretty much everyone was outsourcing manufacturing to other countries, Musk did the exact opposite. He insisted on building everything for SpaceX from the ground up, right here in the USA. Now, this wasn't just about patriotism. It was a massive strategic gamble on American ingenuity, a bet that would pay off big time. And wow, did that bet pay off. Today, the commercial space industry is a massive $200 billion market. And largely because of SpaceX, the United States is a dominant player again. I mean, it is just a stunning turnaround, and it's proof of the power of that audacious vision he had. But here's the thing about Musk. Even a $200 billion industry, that's not the endgame. It's not even close. It's just a stepping stone. To understand what really, truly drives him, you have to look beyond Earth itself, to a vision for humanity's future that is both incredibly inspiring and, for some people, deeply unsettling. And we're not talking about some vague sci-fi dream here. Musk has laid out a detailed, step-by-step plan to actually colonize Mars. It starts with robotic missions to figure out the basics, then moves to building infrastructure like power and life support, and the whole thing culminates in this long-term goal of terraforming the entire planet to make it livable. This is the grand project that drives everything he does. And you have to understand, for him, this isn't just a business plan. It's deeply, deeply personal. When Musk says he wants to die on Mars, just not on impact, he's not just being clever. He is expressing a real willingness to sacrifice everything, maybe even his own life, for this mission. It's a level of personal commitment that, honestly, is hard for most of us to even wrap our heads around. But is this grand vision really a good thing? No strings attached? Thinkers like the philosopher Hannah Arendt have raised some serious questions about this. She warned that our constant push out into space could come at a cost. That by detaching ourselves from Earth, our home, we might risk losing a fundamental part of what it means to be human. It's a really critical question that kind of hangs over this entire enterprise. And that really brings us to the central paradox of Elon Musk, doesn't it? Here's a man who says he wants to save humanity, but is so often accused of being, well, profoundly inhuman himself. He inspires this almost messianic devotion in some people and just pure terror in others. So who is the real Elon Musk? So who is he, really? Is he the visionary, the kid who read too many comic books and just genuinely wants to make the world a better place? Or is he the tyrant, the one who a former employee said treats people like a piece of litter? I mean, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, but those two extremes tell you a lot about the man. I mean, the stories about his management style are, well, they're legendary. He demands 90-plus-hour work weeks. He's been known to fire people for simple grammar mistakes. He'll publicly take credit for things that enrage his own engineers. He expects a level of dedication that borders on obsession, and if you can't keep up, you're just shown the door. So, in the end, what's his legacy going to be? Is he a modern industrial hero, a savior who's literally building a new future for all of us on another planet? Or is he more like a 21st century P.T. Barnum, a master showman who got incredibly rich selling the world an impossible sci-fi dream? The final chapter on Elon Musk hasn't been written yet, but how it ends, well, that's going to have huge implications for all of us.